Hey guys, I got some Chevy Vortec heads I'm going to be machining today. They're 062 casting, so they don't come factory with a hardened exhaust seat. I'm going to be machining these things out in my TCM head machine to accept a hardened exhaust seat, and we're increasing the valve size from 1.5 inches on the exhaust to 1.6 inch like I already did to these heads. So we're going to show the process of how to get the head from this to this. So let's get the machining. Hey, so I got the Vortec head in my machine. It's all level and ready to start cutting. So this is my cutter, and this is the seat I'm going to be installing. And then I have a set stop, so once I get everything all tooled up, I'll set this stop so it's cut to the correct height. So I'm gonna start cutting this thing. I got the cutter at the top of the seat, and then like I said, I have this set stop right here. So I put the seat I'm installing to set the correct height I'm installing this thing at. So now I can start cutting. That's what it looks like after I cut the head to accept that hardened exhaust seat. So I'm going to put you guys on hyperlapse and finish the rest of these things. Alright, I'm putting the last one in. You want to hear that high-pitched ring to let you know it's on the base of the cylinder head and seating properly. Alright, now that I got the seats installed, the seats sometimes hang up just a hair, so I'm going to just bump them with a cutter and make it nice and flush with the combustion chamber. Alright guys, that's what it looks like after I hit the top, and like I said, I'm only talking about taking a thou or two so you don't get that sharp edge at the top of the seat. I don't know if it's even necessary, but I'm really picky. So now we're going to move on to cutting the seats, cutting the exhaust seats with the angle. This is a 45-degree angle. It kind of hogs out the bowl of the seat, and then I'm going to hit it with my 3-way cutter. So let's get to cutting. That's what it looks like when I hug out the bowl of this seat, and then now I'm going to use my 3-way cutter and put some angles on this thing besides the 75. All right, here we go. This is cutting the 60, the bottom angle right now. Here comes in the 45, barely up the top. And right when the 30 starts cutting, I'll stop and check it. But it should be perfect right when the 30 comes in. Here's the 30. Alright guys, this is what it looks like when I'm all done cutting it in my machine. We got the 30-degree angle, which is the top angle, the 45, which seats on the valve, the 60, and the 75. Now I'm just buzzing all the seats. I'll be hitting the 45-degree angle that seats on the valve very first. And then after that, I'll hit it with the 30-degree angle, which is the top angle. And then the bottom angle on the intake, I'll be doing 60. And then a couple different angles I'll be doing on the exhaust. I'll explain that a little bit later. Alright guys, this is what it looks like when we're all done. Here's the exhaust seat. So we have the 45, that seats on the valve, the 30, and then I hit this with a 55, and below that's a 60. And then on the intake, we just did a three angle. We did a 30 on the top, the 45 that seats on the valve, and then the 60. And then like I said, I'm gonna blend this just a little bit to help it flow a little bit better. All I'm doing is taking out this kind of sharp edge on the short turn radius. There's a big lip here, and then it goes out the port, and I'm just blending that transition to help it flow a little bit better after increasing the valve size 100 thousandths. So this is what it looks like pretty much when I'm done. Like I said, I don't charge the customer anymore. Just that's what I do when I do these valve jobs and increase the valve size. It's a must in my shop. Alright guys, look at this thing. After 2 thousandths I cut off this thing. It's hitting heavy over here and in this corner too. Like I said, this thing was pretty dang warped, so let's get this thing flat. Now that I got these heads all washed and painted, I'm assembling these things. I'm using some premium Viton valve stem seals. I also machined the guides down about 100 thousandths, because from the factory these things can only handle 480 thousandths lift before the retainer smacks the top of the guide. So these things are good well past ½ inch. I'm pulling vacuum on every single valve to make sure everything's sealing. Alright, the heads are all finished and ready for the customer, and I also supplied them with a head gasket set to get these things back together. I'm going to do it for this Chevy Vortec rebuild. I appreciate you guys following me along, and I'll see you guys in the next one.